Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's pick a card reading. We are going to be looking at kind of a spicy one, which is who are they really? So few little caveats before we jump in. I was putting this out there with the intention that this was going to be more kind of focused on kind of more of a romantic focus. It does not have to be though, so I'll try to leave it a little bit open-ended, but that is kind of more of the intention here. This is meant to really look at ideally somebody that you have a soul tie of some kind with, and you're not really sure, you're left with some confusion, or you're not really sure about who they truly are, maybe at the soul, or how they were showing up. My intention excuse me, my intention is that today we're going to be really connecting to the energy that you most want to know about, okay? In terms of timeline, right? Because timing is very, very fluid. Energy goes beyond space and time. So my intention is that we're getting answers. We're tapping into where they were as a person, as a soul, how they were showing up at the time that you are the most confused about, right? So if this was somebody from your past and you never got an answer, it's kind of like, man, I just really wanted to know what was like, what was really truly going through their head? Where were they actually kind of in this process? If this is somebody that you're currently connecting to and you're like, I'm having a hard time really being able to, intuit and suss it out. I never like to put these readings out as a way of usurping your own intuitive power. And what I mean by that is that learning how to excuse me, sit with and discern your own intuition is such an important process that I don't want to deprive you of. And then also learning how to trust your own discernment, your own wisdom, is a very pivotal part of your journey, right? So I would advise that you really only consume this reading after you've sat with your intuition for a very long period of time, or if you do, kind of take it with a grain of salt. What might be coming through might be things that you were not aware of. They could be things that, are hard to hear, but, you need to hear. Or they could be things that you've been asking for. I am going to trust and believe in spirit bringing you this reading. Excuse me, I'm sorry. There we go. I think I got it this time. In spirit bringing you this reading, and in you feeling drawn to consume this reading, right? To engage with it, to invite this energy in, because it's what you need to hear and when you need to hear it, okay? And I'd also like to final note be advise that people be open to what wants to come through. So let's say if you're asking about one person and you pick a pile, but it happens to resonate perfectly with something else, like some other relationship in your life, that might need to be like what you get insight on, right? Because you might think that you know exactly what happened in that other situation or who that person was or what was going on, but there might be key insights that actually shift your perception about what was happening and allow the energy to kind of open and release and be a lot freer. So that's all the caveats that I've got. I believe in you. I trust in your wisdom. You've got this. Excuse me. I'm sorry. My allergies are awful today. So we have 3 options to choose from, as depicted in the thumbnail. It was really interesting. I wanted to shuffle out a card from the Everyday Witch Oracle as a signifier. So because I shuffled for them, this little tip of the cap to the Ancient Star Queen. I don't know if you've ever seen her channel, but if not, go check it out. She always does this, and it's just become like an unconscious part of my process. So yeah, go check her out. She's amazing. But because I shuffled for it, I'm actually going to incorporate the card into your reading. But I did want to show you guys again. So group 1 is Tears of Joy and Sadness. Group 2 is Joy and Delight. And group 3 is Go with the Flow. So feel free to take your time, pause the video if need be, meditate on the options in front of you. When you have found one that best resonates with your energy, head down to the timestamps in the description box below for your particular option. With that, we're going to get started with group 1. Hi, group 1. So it was 4:44 on the timer as I went to go get started. So you might see a lot of repeating 4s around this connection. I want to say that when I was shuffling out this deck, I'm trying not to look at the card because I haven't seen it yet, so I like to discover it with you. As I was preparing to shuffle it, the deck absolutely exploded. Exploded here. And so something I'm getting is that I almost got, there might have been, whoever you're asking about, there may, if there's been some time between when you guys have seen each other, we'll say, when I was picking up the deck that exploded, one card had flipped itself over and it was the 7th house with relating. So this could be talking about somebody you had a love relationship with, possibly a Libra or a Taurus. But this is somebody you have a soul partnership with. There may have been a turning point. If you guys have been in separation or things have, you've known them for a while, this feels like they had just like this like rude awakening spiritually. And I will say too, you know, we have tears of joy and sadness. This person also could be a Gemini or have big Gemini placements. We have the Lotus here, right? So there is awakening. And it's interesting that the person, you know, here is sad and crying, and the cat that they have is like, this person could have a white cat. Or you could, you know, the cat's like not having it, but then her reflection in the mirror is happy, still crying, but happy tears, and the cat is happy, right? This person may have gone through a massive shift, especially when it comes to their emotions. You guys could have been mirroring each other very, very heavily. But I feel like this person's gone through a big change. It's not quite the same thing, but the design almost reminds me here of peacock feathers. This person may have had to learn a lot to be proud of their emotions, kind of to connect with their emotions, maybe feel proud of themselves. A lot of purging. This person's gone through a very quick spiritual expansion process with the Lotus here. I almost said the lily, so lily might be somebody's name, might be somebody's favorite flower. If you, like I said, if you guys have been separated, if you guys have been apart, this person has changed and has shifted. Now, you know, whatever that means, in terms of what they have shifted into, you know, that doesn't necessarily have to negate what has already gone on, but I feel like it's important that you know that. And you mirrored back a lot of important things to them that caused them to want to like do a lot of self-work. It's not even that they wanted to. It's like they saw these things as a result of knowing you, and they almost couldn't look away. I feel like they tried. I feel like they tried to run away from you. They may have just like pushed you away and been like, no, I'm not doing this. Because it brought up a lot of really hard emotions for them. And the thing is, they ran away from you and they just ran right into something else that brought these things up. It's like once it happened, it's not happening. Like it's not unhappening, excuse me. No matter how hard they tried. And so they may have run away from you thinking that would kind of allow them to ignore these feelings, you know, this healing that needs to get done, but that's not it. And they've been purging a lot emotionally. I think you need to know that. So let's see what we get. Tree with stability and growth. This person could be a tree. I don't know what. Okay. We have Moonstone with Crown Chakra Transcendence. Card 1. And for this reading, I'm leaving cards reversed as a way of indicating that somebody's more in their shadow. So we have Athlete. The light attributes are dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, strength of spirit. But the shadow attributes, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability or entitlement. Oh, this person's had their ass handed to them spiritually. 3rd house, there's that Gemini energy with perception. Speech, thoughts, social media, excursions, dating, siblings. There's a comma between those words, by the way, not dating siblings. Dating, siblings, research, street life, circulation, discussions, surroundings, sociability. I'm really drawn into speech, excursions, and sociability. Okay. So again, this is really talking about where this person was at the time that you are most seeking clarity and guidance, who this person really was. This person, I feel like as well, when you know, the time period you're asking about, who they were. This is somebody who tried to act like I don't know what I was going to say, like had no, like nothing bothered them, but I almost said had no flaws. This is somebody who tried to act like nothing could get to them, right? You know, I don't know why it's making me think of Arrested Development with Lucille too. I am stable as a table. Like, this person, this person thought they had gone through everything that could possibly hurt them. And they've been through a lot. But they've been very much in their mind with this third house energy. I almost said third eye energy. Very much in their mind, not as much in their spirit, because there was a block, and it was blocked emotions that would cause, like, they'd have to go through those in order to ascend and achieve this heightened spiritual awareness, and they were not willing to do that. They were not willing to do that. So the first thing I'm getting off the bat, this person had a lot of hidden emotions. They may have tried to kind of put on a happy face a lot, and then like this energy of like going home to cry, going home they may have been somebody who was very, this could have been like a neighbor or somebody in your community, in your friend group, in your neighborhood, but somebody who was out and about, maybe who's on social media a lot. They always look like they're having fun. This person, I'm really drawn into speech and excursions, again, going everywhere, talking to people, a little social butterfly, made it seem like they had a lot going on. But this person was very lonely. I think they hid a lot of parts of themselves. So that's the first thing that you need to know. This person acted like they were invulnerable. If you guys separated, they may have acted like it doesn't matter, doesn't hurt them. It's no big deal. That could not be farther from the truth. And like I said, I think they've gone through a pretty big expansion and shift very rapidly. But let's dig into some of these messages. I want to clarify tree with stability and growth. 10 of Swords reverse. Yeah, like I said, they've been through a lot. In this version, it's really harsh. This person's reaching for the boat in, last-ditch survival effort, and somebody cuts their fingers off, right? Just cuts them away. They've experienced a lot of heartbreak, and I think the way that they have overcome this, they've overcome, this is clarifying stability and growth. They've really grown from this experience, excuse me, and survived a lot of their experiences. But I also do think at the time that you were asking about, I think that they, excuse my burp, hadn't fully let it go. It's like the worst was over, but they were still in a recovery period. There's something where they never fully let that go. What is this card? Yeah, the Star. They were healing. They were healing, but I feel still very much struggling with that. Yeah. I want to pull one more about that. The Tower reversed. Because whatever this 10 of Swords was, they could have had another relationship, because we have two people, end prior. And it's interesting because the Star always does follow the Tower. I feel like they had this massive, like, heartbreaking, just like cutthroat betrayal, and they were trying to heal from that. And I feel like that experience caused them to look at their lives and be like, whoa, I've got to do something different. So the time that you're asking about, right, whether this was in the past, whether this is where they're at currently, who they truly are is somebody who's trying to achieve some amount of stability and growth from where they were before. Page of Swords, they're trying to learn. What were they trying to learn? 7 of Wands reverse. Okay, maybe to be a little bit less defensive, a little bit more curious. Queen of Wands. I feel like whoever you're asking about saw you kind of like the Queen of Wands, regardless of gender identity or expression. Somebody who's powerful, who's magical. They may have been trying to open up to their spirituality because this very humbling experience in their past really showed them. It's kind of like this energy of it really showed them with the 7 of Wands reverse. Like, there's a certain amount of control they have to surrender up to the universe. And it caused them to open up and be more curious. And I see this here with transcendence. What is transcendence here for? 6 of Wands reversed. Yeah, this sense of failure is what caused them to open up. What caused them to start to reach for something more, right? Which often happens to us when we have difficult moments in life. King of Pentacles reversed. This could be the loss of a father figure. This could be the loss of a job, but it's a really big loss. Pardon my itchy back. And they're having to redefine who they are. The Devil reversed. Yeah, there's a sense here of, and the Knight of Cups reversed. What was underneath that? Judgment. there's a sense here of losing something that was very not only secure for them or a sense of stability and this idea of stability, but also something they were very emotionally attached to, right? Look at this image on the King of Pentacles. They built their whole world on this. So when this fell apart, this failed, this caused the person, your person to really start reaching out for spirit, trying to understand, right? That crown chakra energy, trying to connect to spirit and understand what is the purpose, why is this happening? Five of Wands, yeah. And I feel like, sorry, I have this itchy spot on my back. It's driving me absolutely bananas. I feel like with the Five of Wands, there's this sense of this conflict within themselves, because I feel like they were trying to heal, and like to understand and to grow, but they were also still very like badly wounded from what happened. And so, at the time that you're connecting, whether this is now or in your past, at the time you're connecting, I feel like this kind of caused this sort of back and forth energy where this person was drawn to the soul connection that you offered, was drawn to the healing that you may have offered them, was drawn to this idea of recreating stability in a new way, but still so hurt from when their previous idea of stability and happiness fell apart. So I do kind of see that playing out. What do we have here for athlete? Again, I feel like this person liked to pretend. This person could have had health problems and they kind of like covered that up. This person liked to pretend that they were just like invulnerable. Nothing bothered them. Six of Swords. Yeah, I feel like this person liked to pretend that they were peaceful, like they're all healed, they're all good, nothing's wrong. Three of Wands reversed. Eight of Cups reversed, yeah. And the Lovers, this is what I mean. I think this person suffered a loss of a love relationship, a very significant soul connection, somebody they thought was their forever person. Sorry, I just accidentally bumped the little desk here. Again, Gemini energy showing up. This person had really been planning. And again, this was like this person was ascending through the course of this relationship. They thought this was it. They thought this was like their soulmate, their one and only, like this was their understanding of their connection to spirit. And so when it fell apart, they had a really hard time letting it go because it was their sense of security. It was kind of what probably started their awakening and enlightenment process. And it's like, if my belief in something greater stems from the fact that this love is so great, then now that it's gone, how do I believe in something more? Why, there's like when this situation fell apart for them, it caused a crisis of faith. And I think you met them in that space where they still wanted to believe. They still wanted to, they like believing in something more, but they're wondering, how do I believe in something more when the thing that caused me to believe in more is also the thing that just gutted me? And they went back and forth on this a lot. I see this. So they had really built up a lot. They planned a lot. They had a lot of future plans with this person. And the Eight of Cups reversed, they were struggling really hard to fully walk away from this person because their heart had really chosen. And it was this is somebody who feels like when they get invested, it's very hard for them emotionally to switch tracks. So this seems like somebody who, at the time you're connecting to them, was trying to kind of like make space for both those things. And I kind of feel like they were trying to either ignore their feelings entirely and really distract themselves, or there's this sense of, I'm going to go out, I'm going to be really, really social, I'm going to focus on making a lot of friends, I'm going to be, I'm almost getting with the Six of Wands reversed, I'm going to be the one in the spotlight. I'm going to make sure I'm successful in myself. There's something like that, but it feels like very like shoddy kind of ineffective, inconsistent validation, like seeking external validation. Because again, when they go to do the internal and really grow spiritually, it was so intimately intertwined with their feelings for this person in the past that it felt very, very painful to connect at a deep level with their spirituality. I want to clarify this third house with perception. The World reversed. Yeah, this person was having a really, really hard time letting go of their old beliefs. I think whoever it was, this has, if this resonates, I feel like the person they had been dealing with prior, maybe it was like a false twin kind of an energy, or like they really thought this was their person. And so they're struggling to let go. I think that, the person they were dealing with was an awakener, was somebody who was getting them started on their journey. But this is somebody who, they were really, really struggling to let go. Maybe let go of old beliefs, let go of, common, shared social circles, let go of, this is the energy of somebody who revisits the places they used to go with this person. This might be somebody who just kind of stopped dating for a while, and just wanted to kind of hang with their friends. They want to take a break. But this is somebody who's struggling to let this entire situation go, struggling to let their perception shift. It also could be somebody who's very involved in the kind of community, because third house is your immediate surroundings, proximity, close community. So they may have always kind of been trying to, especially if their ex is somebody who's in the same community, always kind of be keeping tabs, checking in. So it's kind of reopening their own wounds. But this is kind of where they're at when you're connecting to them. Is this is kind of the backdrop. And I want to see how this showed up between you and them, or how it shows up currently. Again, for a lot of you who picked this pile, I feel like you're in separation. This is somebody you used to be dealing with. Queen of Wands are very attracted to you. That much is clear. They're attracted to you not just on a physical level, though, because the Queen of Wands is very magical, very connected to her intuition, very connected to spirit. She and spirit have almost merged as one, right? And she acts on instincts, but it's divine guidance, without question, with complete faith. And I think that's partially why this person's attracted to you. They see you as somebody who, with the Moonstone and Transcendence, is also very connected to your intuition. Right? Because I feel like this person got caught in limbo in their spiritual development. And with one here being, a number of a new beginning, you're here to kind of help offer them a new way. And I do feel like they were struggling with that, but they were very attracted to you, both, physically, but also spiritually, because you have the medicine for them. And that's partially why they were very drawn in. So if they're kind of wishy-washy, or you're I don't know why they, were messing with me if they weren't ready, spiritually, they needed you. And that's why. The Magician reverse, this person may not have been honest about what was going on with them or about their intentions. Magician reverse can be somebody who's kind of a little slick. This could be a smooth talker who does not back it up. The Fool reversed, okay. And the Knight of Cups, exactly. Okay, so the way that this impacted how they showed up with you is pretty clear. They came rushing in with their feelings, and then with little to no intention of they weren't actually ready for a new beginning. So they may have blurted it out, is kind of something I'm getting. This has this energy of, I meant it when I said it. This is kind of the vibe. But with the Fool reversed in the middle, this may or may not have been something they were aware of. They really were not ready for a new romantic beginning. I think they wanted to be. The Magician reverse can also talk about struggling with their own personal power. So this person may have kind of wanted to force themselves to be ready before they were. But I do feel like with the Knight of Cups, and especially with that Queen of Wands, they're very spiritually attracted to you. So it was okay, I feel pulled. This must be it. This must be what I'm, where I'm meant to be. And they were not ready for something new. They may have wanted to rush through friendship. I gotta take a sip of water. Rush through their healing. Because, a tree doesn't grow overnight. It takes time. They're in their stability and growth journey to have that within themselves in a much more authentic way, both spiritually and intellectually. But I do feel they rushed it, and I do feel like they were not honest with you about it. I want to see where this person is currently at about you. The Knight of Wands, they're still thinking about you quite passionately. This person might be impulsive at times. You make them want to rush in. They might think that, especially with that Queen of Wands, you're a very hot commodity, and that they don't want to miss out on you. Two of Pentacles reversed, okay. Nine of Cups reversed. And the Ace of Wands. I feel like So there's a desire, right? There's definitely desire here. There's a desire to want to rush in and to want to be with you again. There's a lot of wands and cups here. This is very much spiritual, soul-based attraction, even possibly love. So this person's kind of going back and forth. Two of Pentacles, even though it is reversed, this would kind of suggest that you're not juggling things anymore. I think this person wants to rush in, but they ultimately are stopping themselves right now. Or stopping themselves from taking it as fast as they want, or, taking it as far as they want, because I feel like they do want you. It's interesting, this version of the Nine of Cups, the story behind this one is that this guy wants to be with her. She only wants to be with another lady. So he disguises himself as a lady and wins her heart. So even though it's kind of about getting what you want, in this deck, this one for me always kind of has a little bit of Seven of Swords energy, where I'm like, yeah, but there's deception. You got what you wanted because you tricked her. This person does want you, but they feel like they recognize that by lying to themselves, they lied to you. And they may have straight up just lied to you as well. Somebody who's dressing themselves up, in a significantly different manner than they normally would, and going through great efforts to present themselves to somebody they're not. That's not accidental, right? This person, there's an awareness. There was a conscious awareness that they manipulated some aspect of how they presented themselves in order to win you over, or in order to get your attention. For some, to get your love, or to get your exclusivity. And they don't want to do that. There was an underlying layer I feel like they were not aware of, which was that they weren't ready. I think they thought they were ready, so they kind of put on some type of show to win you over. And then, especially with that Knight of Cups, they came in with beautiful words, big gestures, something like that. There's an awareness that they did that. They have cultivated that awareness, and they don't want to do that again. So this person might be either slow playing it, backing off, or if you guys have separated, they're not approaching right now because they know at some level with the Ace of Wands reversed, they're not ready for this new beginning yet. And the Knight of Wands, they want to rush in, but that Knight of Cups, they know they've done this before. Yep, Knight of Pentacles, they're trying to, we have a lot of knights here, and so far the feminine energies that have shown up have been the Queen, so they know they're not ready. They know that it's much more important and valuable to show up as somebody who is consistent and somebody who is dependable. Yeah, the Moon, excuse me, and then behind that, wanted to flop out the Three of Cups reversed. There could have been a third party situation, or even just them struggling to let go of an ex. They know that has impacted the relationship between the two of you. They know that they have to deal with that. They might know that they have hurt you. I feel like you guys have had a lot of good times together, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, but they've also hurt you quite a lot. And there's a sense here where it's like, I want them, I want more with them, I want to keep this going, but I can't make the same mistakes. I can't make the same mistakes other people have made toward me. I can't do this to them again. So I want to pull message cards for what this person's higher self wants you to know. I was a lucky person the day I met you. Yeah. We have a lot of green here. Emotionally, I feel like, not like quite you saved me, but there's a refreshing energy. They feel lucky that they met you. You were always my shooting star. Yeah, you were a wish for this person. Do you remember the time when our souls didn't know each other? Yeah, me neither. We'll meet again, I promise. So you guys have a soul connection, a soul bond. Yeah, at the bottom, when I think about the essence of this lifetime, the love between our souls is the first thing that comes to mind. You mean a lot to this person. And I think there is an awareness that they need to really do their own work first. So if you haven't really heard from them, this is probably why. What they want you to know from their higher self is they feel lucky. They feel like you are kind of a shooting star. You were a moment of magic in their life, and a very healing one at that. And nobody's ever really ready to catch a shooting star, but they feel like they need to do better, is kind of what I'm getting. There's a sense here with, this card that you guys are connected at the soul, and they know that. They can't ignore the soul connection between the two of you, and the question is, what are they going to do about it? And I think right now they're trying to really heal themselves. They're trying to purge. I want to see kind of what this person's ultimate intentions are with you. Oh, okay. few cards just brought themselves out, so I'll take it. The Queen of Pentacles, that's very lovely. The Moon. The Three of Cups reversed. And the King of Cups reversed. These are the two that came out together. This is what I mean. I think this person's ultimate intentions, there's a recognition that they need to deal with their emotional stuff. They need to get rid of this third party energy, whether it's, you know, cutting somebody out of their life, or I feel like really dealing with their emotions about this. There's an awareness because they see you as the Queen of Pentacles, I feel. Somebody who, in this deck, she's pretty much naked. Nakedness always implies vulnerability. Somebody who's very open, very grounded, very stable within themselves, very open with them as well as open with themselves. And there's a sense here where they don't want to hide anything anymore. I'm hearing they don't ever want to come back to you with secrets in their pocket. That's very specific. But that's kind of the energy I'm getting, because they see you as somebody, you know, with her pentacle, who when you make an offer, it is grounded, it is loving, it is stable, right? You've done your healing, you've done your work, and they don't want to come back and give you, you know, this kind of spiritual energy of pennies on the dollar. So I think that right now, their main focus, they do feel connected to you, but their main focus is in dealing with their own stuff first. So that's kind of who they're really coming up as. I think this is everything that I've got for you for right now. I know this is a long one. I hope this helped, but yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to read for you again real soon. Take care. Bye. Okay. Hi, group 2. Okay, so you guys picked the Joy and Delight card. I feel like the person you're asking about, they might just bring out your fun side. They're like a bushel of laughs kind of a thing. They might really like to go on picnics. They might like poppies. They might have either a black cat or like a tabby cat or a Shiba. They might really like food. That's another thing. Excuse me. This person's very strong in their sacral chakra, both their sacral and their solar plexus, but their sacral very heavily. This can be, you know, this is somebody who knows how to have fun. This person might have a hard time knowing when to say no, knowing when to say, you know, enough. This person can be really hyper focused on finding their joy, finding their delight. They kind of just like go for it. And that's magical. This person, though, might also be impulsive, and that might be something that you've had to deal with this person. So I do see that. I think it's interesting. We have 2 cats, which are very intuitive animals. This always gives me a little bit of a vibe of the Queen of Wands as well. This person could be a fire sign because of the little black cat. But 2 very, you know, independent, intuitive animals. And then of all the dogs that could be there, it's a Shiba, which are, you know, adorable, but tend to be a little bit strong-willed. So this person might be, I feel like, very pleasant, very agreeable, great temperament until you guys are at odds and be like you can't tell them nothing. They're like, no, I'm gonna go do this, like very strong-willed about something. So it's kind of the first energy I'm picking up, but they are very pleasant and they do mean well. Yeah, here we go. Coins with luck and money. This person might just seem like they're lucky. They just kind of have this energy because they're always in this very magnetic energy. Holy shit, okay. We have Smoky Amazonite with abundance. 17, reducing to an 8. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay. So in this deck, I was shuffling in such a way that if it came out reversed, I'm going to kind of more focus on the shadow attributes. So we have Advocate. The light attribute is inspires you to put compassion into action. The shadow is embracing negative causes or committing to cause for personal gain. Yes. And Taurus. Okay. The bombshell. I feel that for this person. Earthy, practical, steadfast, productive, fertile, tactile, ample, worthy, ripe, pleasure-seeking, sensuous, blooming, solid, possessive, tenacious, loyal, patient, deliberate. Okay, I'm really, really honing in here on practical, interestingly enough, sensuous, and interestingly loyal. Okay, so this person could be a Taurus or have significant Taurus placements, a lot of Venus energy. Like exalted Venus kind of energy here. Even though that's not Taurus. Anyway, sorry, I have like this one like itchy patch on my back. This person is very, very abundant, both with energy, and possibly as well with like their material world. This person's very creative. They're very much in their creator energy all the time. They're always like looking for a good time. They're always, and part of it's because this person sets up their life in such a way where they do what they want, meaning they really enjoy their life, and it's a very magnetic energy to be in. There's kind of this energy where when they're focused on you, it feels like you're the center of the universe, right? They have a very like, being with them, this person could have Leo placements. Being with them is very much kind of like being in the sun. And it feels like that. So when you get their attention, when you get that validation, when you get, like when you and this person are aligned, it feels great. You might notice that when you're with this person, you tend to experience more luck as well. It's like their energy rubs off on you. This person shines and sparkles. But who this person really is, they really are like that. If they seem blessed by the universe, they are. They're very much, again, in this like energy of finding their joy, finding their delight, and it's very authentic. But the issue I see here is, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. This person can be kind of self-focused sometimes. And that's not always a bad thing, but self-focused to the point of it becoming selfish. Again, it's like when push comes to shove, there's going to be like a lot of times they're very agreeable. They're very, they can be very loving. I was really drawn into loyal. So again, they're very committed. But when it comes down to something else that they were equally committed to, and it's making me think of how Leo and Taurus are square, right? So this can kind of indicate a little bit like power struggle or gridlock. When it comes down to something they're equally committed to, right? Maybe they're generally pretty, go with the flow or pretty permissive about 90% of things. If it's at 10%, you guys are going to have a bloodbath. And that's where this person, I feel like, can get nasty. I'm going to be honest. This person, some of you might have wondered if this person was a narcissist at some point, like a benign narcissist. You can't quite tell. You're like, are they just like super independent and self-possessed? Or are they lacking empathy? It's kind of, sometimes it can be on that line. I don't think they have ill intentions. And I don't think it's that they don't care about other people. We're going to dig more into that, but I'm just trying to tease out the energy here. I also am getting this feeling, right, committing to causes for personal gain. This was something I was getting with practical, because I was like, really interesting. I feel like this person has a tendency to try to persuade others that what they want is the practical way to do things or the place to invest resources. So for example, this person, let's say, they are trying to convince their partner, right? They want to move. Let's say they want to relocate, right? And so, their partner wants to move to one place, they want to move to another place. This would be the kind of person that tries to convince their partner to want to do it, like to go where they want to go, because they cloak their desires in language of practicality, right? Well, we could make a lot more money here, or like I could take this job. They use like practical financial resources a lot to try to make their point. I feel like too, this person's very good on selling a vision, right? Like, well, if we moved here, then I could take this job, and then I could do this, and we could do this, and by this point we can, after a year we can be moving here or doing this, or like they try to really kind of sell that. And it's not that they're doing it without intentions of backing it up, but they're not prioritizing. I hope this makes sense. Excuse my burp. This would be somebody who, in that example, let's say they really want to move to where they want to move to. Maybe they tell their partner, why don't we go try it out for a little bit? Like, I'll take this job, it's a year-long contract. If we like it, we can stay. And if not, we can totally move somewhere else. And in the back of their mind, they kind of already know, like, no, I'm going to try to really like take this job as a way of getting my foot in the door at this company, getting my foot in the door, getting invested in this community. This would be somebody who, let's say if that were the example, they'll show you around, they'll introduce you, they'll like try to, invest in what you want, they'll try to do stuff like that to get you like invested in the end result that they want, right? So this would be somebody who, like, let's say in this example, if you guys ended up choosing to move somewhere and this person, you moved to where you wanted to go, they wouldn't spend the same amount of time trying to introduce you to people locally, right? I feel like this person's very gregarious. People just naturally gravitate toward them. So they wouldn't spend as much time trying to help you build community, trying to, like, oh, I notice, there's a hobby group for that thing that you love to do. They wouldn't spend as much time trying to sell you on it, right? Because it doesn't really, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter to them, but it's kind of like, this is what I mean. This person can be sometimes a little bit unintentionally, possibly manipulative. It feels like something that generally tends to evade their focus. Or they will go out of their way to create a really magical experience for something that they want, but be less likely to do that for something that you want, right? So like I said, this person's got a very active sacral area, so they're very much focused on their own vision, their own desires, and other things tend to not get their attention as much. I am kind of seeing that. So if you're picking up kind of like a sort of energy, that might be the case. This also can be somebody who likes to spend resources on what they like to do, and then kind of might be a little kind of, stingy or, tight purse strings when it comes to stuff that you want to do. I am kind of picking that up a little bit. I also am seeing this could be somebody who sometimes justifies their own not so great habits, but then can be a little bit critical of yours, or use, like I said, use money and resources as a way of like being critical. We have like a lot of food here, and we have Taurus and we have the wine, so maybe they like to go out and like experience fine dining, and so they spend a lot of money on that, or they want to spend a lot of your shared budget on that. But when you want to spend the money paying down a debt, or you want to spend the money on like a vacation, or something else that doesn't really appeal to them that same level, that's when they might kind of be like, well, I don't know, can we really spare it? And it kind of starts to feel a little one-sided. But this person also too, they do make magic, right? So they kind of like, they really like to, they take what is allocated toward their joy, their desire, and they do make something magical. But you might sort of sometimes feel a little bit like there's not a lot of you in the connection. I feel like there's somebody who's currently in your life, or has recently been in your life. This doesn't feel like, group one felt like a separation. This could be somebody where I feel like this is somebody who's generally like in your life currently. So let's clarify coins with luck and money. 6 of Wands reversed. Okay. And the King of Wands. I'm not surprised the King of Wands showed up. I feel like this is somebody who, with the Tower, a huge thing for them financially is that they've had a loss. And this is, I feel like, a very public part of their personality, right? They've had a loss and they learned from that. They might be kind of like a self-made kind of, they might have that sort of story. And people know, they know like, oh, you know what? And this person does try to use it as like an inspiration. This person does try to inspire others quite a lot. And that's something that means a lot to them. There is a level where I feel like this process of inspiring others can sometimes also be for their own kind of personal validation. But they have, they have lost a lot. They've experienced a lot of setbacks. They don't let it keep them down for very long. They take that and they alchemize it. And this is why they're a very abundant person, because everything, whether perceived as positive or negative, ends up building them, right? Ends up growing them as a person. And that's very much a part of their personality. So again, I thought it was interesting with the King of Wands, because I'm like, yeah, they're very like, they have very attractive energy. People gravitate toward them a lot, and they use their experiences to guide others quite a lot. This person feels kind of like larger than life. And they know that, they like that, they want to share that with you as well. But there is, like, again, a level of self-focus. I have to be honest. What is abundance here all about? I do feel like this person has abundant energy. They might be very, like, just, like, literally very energetic. They might be very financially well off, or very, in, like, a leadership position in their career, very well known. 2 of Wands coming out here as well. I feel like they have a lot of things they could do, just because the image here. They have a lot of things they could do. They have a lot of this kind of feels like jack of all trades, but they've got specific areas of strength, and they could kind of do a lot of different things, and they know that. 2 of Pentacles reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. Two of Swords reversed. Interesting. And the Queen of Swords. Yeah. I feel like when it comes to their, again, kind of building off of what we saw earlier, when it comes to their abundance, a really huge, important thing that they've had to make a lot of decisions. They've had to make a lot of cuts. They've had to have a lot of responsibility, and this is something they've either left behind because they're like, I just realized, I woke up one day and realized, why be working for somebody else when I could be working for myself? Or like, I just had it with this dead-end job, so one day I just woke up and quit. I had, this is the kind of person that will glorify it and be like, I had $10 in my pocket and then I went off and started a business. This is that kind of energy. This is somebody who I think has had to carry a lot, right? There's a certain amount to which their confidence is earned. But they immediately hurt, but they won't stop talking about it. This person has an image of self, and it's very much their identity is based around it. And there's this energy of following with the fire here, deciding to follow their passions, deciding to follow their spiritual calling and their happiness. And I think this is important because it is a part of their life purpose, but it might make it kind of hard sometimes when you're trying to have an intimate relationship with them, because it kind of almost feels like they never take the mask off, or like they're always on. So with the Queen of Swords coming up with that as well, again, it feels like this person just like made a decision. Again, it's part of this person's like narrative of like, one day, like I woke up, I had enough, and I had to just trust myself. I had to just trust that I had the right answer. I had to trust that like I knew what I was talking about, that I made the right decision. And this is such a it's a big deal. It really is a big deal. But it's to the point where like this person's like high off their own supply. This is a very much a big part of this person's personality. And it is tough because they really do inspire a lot of people, and it's necessary, right? What they have to say is necessary. But I do feel like, again, you as somebody in their life, in an intimate context, always wonder like, is it real? Or like, what else too? This person does not like to talk about their vulnerability, like at all. Actually, I want to pull a card about that. Ace of Swords. I think this person, look at how everything's tied up. When this person talks, a lot of times they talk in such a way where they're sharing their breakthroughs, their aha moments, their epiphanies, because those are big parts of their life and big parts of their story, right? We've got a queen and a king show up, very mature energy here. This person has things to be proud of, but there's a lot that went into that aha moment, right? It's all kind of interconnected, and it's kind of like once they had the aha moment, see how it's in the front? None of the other stuff mattered. It's all in the background. So this person doesn't really like to talk a whole lot, or doesn't really spend a lot of time talking about those little moments, and possibly because they don't really know how to conceptualize them. This may have been such a turning point in their life that it's like, now that they're really, like they've seen the light about following, their path and making their life, something that they love and something in alignment with them, they kind of forget about the life they were living before. Again, all those small moments that led up to that. So this person doesn't really talk a lot about their vulnerability. What's at the bottom of the deck? Knight of Wands. Yeah, they feel like they rushed through the story a little bit to get to the good parts, the hero parts. And they don't really think about themselves like a vulnerable person. Yep, Five of Pentacles. They might rush through talking about, in all honesty, those moments where their back was against the wall, right? She's freezing to death and she's just got like a little match, and she just felt like they don't like to feel vulnerable. They don't like to feel like the universe has deserted them. So they don't like to talk about those vulnerable moments. Yep, the Seven of Swords reversed. They will talk about it, right? But it feels like you got to catch them in the right moment. Yeah, Five of Cups, there it is. They've experienced feelings of loss and grief, and I think those propelled them into wanting to change their life. Six of Cups reversed after losing things that were very near and dear to them. There's a sense here of they don't like to talk about it because those moments were a catalyst toward living the life they are meant to live, but they don't want to remember that time. So again, I don't think it's that they're necessarily, self-absorbed and self-focused, but the parts of their experience that they're comfortable talking about or comfortable sharing or reliving make them all kind of just like make them seem like this impervious person, and it kind of feels unreal sometimes. I want to clarify Advocate with, especially committing to cause for personal gain. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. The Three of Swords, the Seven of Wands reversed, okay, and the King of Swords. This is somebody who, Eight of Pentacles reversed. This person will work hard, right? This person's, they're bleeding, they're crying, but they're still at it. This person will work hard. But again, this person does not like to sit in vulnerability. I see that here. So while they will work hard, while they'll pour their blood, sweat, and tears into something, if it hurts them, if it actually hits them in a vulnerable spot, they are very likely to let it go with the Seven of Wands. They're very likely in the King of Swords to cut it from their life because they really don't like experiencing feelings of powerlessness, helplessness, vulnerability. They like to help other people. They don't mind holding those spaces for other people to be going through those things and, bring those things to them. But they don't like to sit in it, which is why if anything kind of feels like it's going to hurt them overwhelmingly, they are very likely to kind of just like back away from it. They're very likely to kind of look at it and be like, this doesn't fit with my long-term. For this person, their personal narrative is very important. So it's kind of like, this doesn't fit my personal narrative. This doesn't fit the story I understand my life to be. And I don't think that's necessarily a conscious thought. This person would most likely look at things in terms of practicality. That's the kind of justification they use. Oh, I got to let this person, go from my life because of, they're doing this and this doesn't really vibe with me. I gotta let this person go from my life because I see my life plan going this way and I don't, they do this and I don't think those two things go together. So it's not wrong, but again, there's an underlying vulnerability and an emotional component this person is not acknowledging. And I do see that here. We have a lot of fire, a lot of air, right? Those are a lot of masculine elements. This person might have a lot of energy, but they have a very hard time kind of just existing, sitting still. They have a hard time connecting with their emotions. It's a very big challenge for them. So, with all these kind of clarifying, committing to causes for personal gain, I think with the King of Swords here, this person will have a plan, will like to make a plan, but it kind of more suits them and they're thinking about, again, their long-term narrative here. Sometimes the expense of, like, there could be somebody in their life that's, a good fit, or it's like they need to have a conversation with them, or they need to make adjustments. The Fool reverse, it's like if you take a leap of faith, this could work out. Temperance reverse, this person could have Sagittarius energy. This person's not good at being super duper patient. They're not good at sitting still, and so it's kind of like, again, sitting in emotional vulnerability, very hard for them. So if somebody makes them feel vulnerable, if somebody has hurt them, and I'm not saying to tolerate toxicity or abuse or, people hurting you, but instead of wanting to talk it out and be very open and vulnerable, this person will like to try to create emotional distance, and it's a matter of time till they'll drift or they'll cut them out of their life functionally. And I think this goes along with what we're seeing here with this Taurus energy, but with loyal getting my attention. This person is a very loyal person. I feel like they will rarely fully cut someone out of their life, but they will put up distance with them. They'll put up boundaries and barriers emotionally. When this person gets invested, they don't like to leave somebody behind. I do see that. This person, I feel like, generally has pretty good intentions. I was really drawn into sensuous. This person could be very very have heightened sensitivity, like sensory sensitivity. Really enjoy art, I'm getting a lot of food, especially. This person can be very patient. It's really interesting because they're kind of like a walking paradox sort of energy. Nine of Wands reversed, they've withstood a lot. I feel like this can be the kind of person who is far too patient and lenient until they're not, and then they'll burn the whole thing down. And there's kind of very little in between with them. This person might have a lot of all or nothing thinking, the moon, because it's when their emotions get triggered, when their subconscious programming and wounds get triggered. We have 2 9s here. This person could be very independent, likes to do their own thing, but they withdraw into themselves, and there's a level to which they sit with themselves and they're kind of like, oh, intuitively, I feel like I need to leave this behind. And they're not really digging deeper into understanding why. 6 of Pentacles, for this person, reciprocity is a very big deal. I feel like this person likes to make sure they've done what they feel they owe somebody so they can leave it behind. They like to kind of tie up loose ends and make sure the scales are balanced before they leave. Queen of Cups. But this almost always happens when they have been emotionally triggered. A lot of Cancer energy here as well, when they have been emotionally triggered. So what happens is this person gets emotionally triggered because they've put in so much, they've invested a lot, and then if they feel like something is not not honoring them, if it's really hurt them emotionally, they'll kind of tend to withdraw and sort of like do their own thing, get kind of emotionally stable within themselves, and during that process they feel like tie up loose ends and give to the other person what they feel they owe them in order to be able to kind of like walk away from the situation. But for this person too, it's really interesting because we have the 3 here and the 3 here, the 3 coins. So it always makes me think of the 6 of Pentacles. And with this person, this person's very fair. They try to be, and generally speaking, they are. This person can be very, very generous. This person likes to try to do their part to make sure the situation remains, like calm, flexible, balanced, good give and take. They really like to do that. The Hermit, in order to maintain that, they might need a lot of alone time. And the 2 of Wands, this person kind of goes back and forth a lot. This person can be kind of wishy-washy within themselves when it comes to their emotions and connections. I want to pull you guys a couple of message cards for what this person would want to tell you from their higher self. It's okay that things ended. Beginnings can't happen without endings. Don't be afraid to begin again. So if you split up with this person, they want you to know from their higher self, like, that's okay. If you have dealt with an ending yourself, or if they have had a difficult ending and you kind of are like wanting to know how they're doing, this is them kind of being like, yeah, because there's 5, 5, 5, 5 as I was saying that. This is them kind of being like, yeah, it feels very inspirational. Like, hey, it's okay that things end because new beginnings can't happen without that ending. So don't be afraid to go begin again. That's kind of the point of life. You might not believe it, but I want you to know you did the right thing in our situation. So if there's something where you had to make a judgment call, you had to kind of, say yes or no to something, or figure out how you want to handle something, they want you to know that you handled it the right way. At the bottom is, you'll always be a big part of why I'm pursuing my dreams. What a beautiful way to touch someone's life. Thank you. So you do mean a lot to this person. I feel like you inspire this person, and they really appreciate that because that's a language that their soul speaks. I want to look at this card. You shook up my emotions and changed my life. I feel like they didn't tell you that. I feel like you've shaken up this person emotionally more than they admit to. You maybe believe in magic again. This person wants you to know that you really matter. If you guys are kind of in strained communication or not in communication, even if you are in communication, I feel like, this person may have backed away from you because you could have triggered some emotional overwhelm within them unintentionally. There's something where they're thinking about, how to return to you the emotional gifts that you have offered. You may have been very nurturing and loving to them at a time when they really needed it. And there's kind of this sense of, I need to figure out how to make this up to you. Like, that's important. So just know that this person is thought of like, this is the kind of person where even if you haven't talked to them for a little bit, they would, if you needed help, they're going to come help you. That's all you got to say, right? This person wants you to know that, like, you matter a lot to them, and they feel like they owe you a debt of gratitude. I kind of want to pull, like, what their intentions are with you next. I was going to close it out, but I want to kind of pull a few more. 6 of Cups reversed. Okay. There's a sense here. 2 of Wands. Yeah, this is what I mean. There's a sense here of trying to decide judgment. So you guys may have had past life energy here. I feel like a cycle in this connection has ended with the 6 of Cups reversed. This is a past life energy, a soul contract. And they're trying to decide, is it over for good, or do we keep going, right? Do I take the next steps with the Knight of Pentacles? Do I keep investing in this? Because they're trying to feel out the territory about, like, is this, was this just necessary to connect for a little while, or is there more here? I kind of want to get a feel for where they're leaning with it, and granted, this can change. 5 of Cups, okay. 7 of Cups, 2 of Swords. This person, if I'm being honest, Ace of Wands reversed, might feel like this situation, this connection has run its course. I'm going to be for real here. And I think they're confused because even though they feel like that's the right decision to make, because again, there's this past life energy that has, the soul contract has been finished, it's completed. I feel like there's a little confusion because normally it feels like it's very easy for them to walk away from somebody, but they have a lot of feelings for you and a lot of love and affection for you. And again, you may have helped them a lot and they don't really know how to make that up to you. And there's a sense here where not having you would make them sad. Not having you in their life would make them sad. but I there's this energy of I don't know if that's enough of a justification to stay. And not even so much for them, enough of a justification to keep you there with them, right? Because in this deck, they're reaching out and grabbing her. So this person is trying to be conscientious of your feelings, your energy, and not waste your time. So I think that's just about everything I'm seeing for group 2. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope I get the chance to read for you again real soon. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 3. Okay, so you guys chose the go with the flow card. I love this. There's something where, you know, she's cast the paddle out behind her, or it's been lost. Whatever happens, it feels like you guys are in this place with this connection, or at this like point in your lives where you're kind of just like surrender to spirit. Like, you know, excuse my burp. Whatever happens, happens. It's all good. This person thinks about you a lot. I'm feeling almost separation kind of energy, or there's just some time apart. Maybe you guys are kind of doing your own thing. This person thinks about you a lot and kind of just like feels like you will drift back toward each other when the time is right. This person could like to go canoeing or like to be out on the water quite a lot, especially like out on rivers and lakes in particular. But this person feels like you're very calming. There's a lot of blue in this card. So I feel like there's a lot of truth between the two of you guys. You guys kind of like very gently, but, you know, honestly tell it like it is. This person really appreciates that. They feel like there's no lying with you. They don't have to cover things up. They don't have to tiptoe around the truth with you. It's a very honest situation. They appreciate that. So let's see what you have here. We have Pearl with Hidden Gem. We have the Sun with Citrine and Clarity. 18 reducing to a 9. You guys are the only ones where the archetype card came out upright. So I've been doing it where the upright means the light attribute. Reversed is more of the shadow attribute. But we got Mystic here with the light attribute is revels in intimate union with the divine. Shadow attribute is delusional rapport with the divine. So again, the light attribute. Let's see what comes out. In Scorpio, I'm not surprised, with the animal. Transformative, intense, passionate, secretive, carnal, thorough, obsessive, intimate, primal, lusty, deep, eternal, resourceful, mysterious, regenerative, compulsive, destructive, and manipulative. I'm really drawn into intense and regenerative, honestly. So this person, you and this person might have an intensely regenerative, I was going to say connection, but I almost said conversation. That might be coming up soon. Somebody could be a Scorpio sun here. This could end up coming up in Scorpio season. But this person, they could have a lot of 8th house placements as well. Which is interesting because Scorpio is not usually a sign known for going with the flow. So I feel like you might be able to kind of help them in this. Maybe that's more your vibe. There's a sense here of surrendering to spirit, right? You know, revels in intimate union with the divine. So who this person really is, whether they were like this before or as a result of knowing you. But again, at the time that you're asking about, right? The time that you're trying to connect and say, at that time, who are they really? There's somebody who would learn the value in surrendering to spirit. And letting things change, right? Regenerative, letting things, I feel like also letting things take time, because there's a sense here with regenerative of like healing takes time, regeneration takes time. They know not to rush the rebirth process. You know, because with intense also, you know, getting my attention, this person may have had a lot of intense experiences. And there's a sense here with Pearl, right? With Hidden and Gem, there's this understanding that every difficult experience offers a beautiful pearl of wisdom, right? And it doesn't come to us in easy moments. It comes to us after periods of challenge, repeated challenge. So this person's really understood this at the time that you're asking about. This person's very connected to their solar self. This person's very connected to their higher self, to their enlightenment. And I think that's after as a result of some very challenging experiences. So I want to clarify Pearl. The Sun reversed, yup. The 9 of Pentacles reversed, okay. Justice. I feel like this person may have had a difficult experience with work. Four of Pentacles reversed. There's a contract that did not go the way they planned. I really do see that here. And the Four of Pentacles reversed, this could have really cost them a sense of stability and security. And I think that this intense experience taught them, right? The Sun for me, this is upright. This is, a hell yes. Reverse, this is like a yes, but. So yes, but it will look different than you thought. Yes, but it will take longer than you thought, right? Yes, but adjustments need to be made. There is a sense here where this person went through this really challenging experience. Again, for many, this was something with work where they were trying to get like an agreement, a contract, a promotion, something like that was very stable, very grounded, committed in their life. And it's like this would have brought them a sense of, financial security and stability, independence. And so they got what they wanted, or they're on the path to getting that now, but adjustments had to be made, right? Either it took a lot longer than they thought, it was maybe with like a different company, a different position. They had to reroute their plans. If this one, what is it? Yep, Ace of Pentacles reversed. This is very much work and financial. Page of Swords. This could have been having to like pursue their education, but there's something where they had to go a different route. Temperance reverse, and it felt like initially the bottom sort of fell out of a manifestation, but they had to kind of surrender to this and learn to get curious about why this fell through, what the situation truly was. Maybe it's something where they thought it was going to be a really great fit for them, and then over time they kind of learn more about the company, the position, who they would have been working under, the circumstances, and they're like, you know what, actually I'm kind of glad that didn't work out. That probably wouldn't have been a good fit for me. They may also have been learning a lot more about who they were as a person and realize that what they were reaching for was actually not truly in alignment with them. So there's a sense of, I feel like, the person you're asking about has a sense of gratitude, and a sense of appreciation, because they have learned that it is beneficial to go with the flow, because the divine is like looking out for them. With citrine and clarity, what do we have here? Yeah, the Emperor. I'm not surprised. No, it's this one. The Four of Swords. Yep. And the Three of Cups reversed. Okay. Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. There's a sense here where, again, for some, this could have been just because we had, we had that justice energy, and that can indicate like, a marriage as well. And just because we have a king, the Emperor, and then the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Three of Cups reversed. For some, and I'm not feeling this as heavily, this situation could have been a relationship that didn't pan out for, the person in question. It's something where they felt very, very restricted. And it ended up kind of showing them that like they could have been, seen some things about that person. They're like, oh, I'm actually really glad that we didn't commit. Okay. But for a lot of you, like I said, these coming out to clarify, clarity with the Sun. There's this sense that whatever was held up, which for many, this was like a job or like a financial situation. I feel like your person had to learn that controlling the situation is not always what it means to be in control. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is surrender and let things kind of move and work themselves out for us, right? Like grabbing at the wheel and jerking it around wildly isn't always going to be the best way to get us to where we want to go. It's kind of the energy. So this person learned that because I feel like they were forced. Look how this little guy's tied up. He's got the sword through his mouth. They were forced to be restricted in their movements, restricted in their communication. They couldn't truly say what they wanted to do, there we go. I was going to say what they wanted or do what they wanted to do. So maybe they had to kind of keep their plans to themselves. There's a sense here where they may have been restricted from, maybe like there was like a friend in their life that they normally would confide in, or that they were like there's a sense here of someone or something that should have made them happy was either restricted from them, or there was something where they like couldn't speak their minds. And it ended up actually being a good thing, because this situation showed its true colors and showed this person of like, oh, this actually wouldn't have been good for me. What is this Four of Swords? Okay, now I'm nosy and curious. The King of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I feel like this is something where, this is something where they didn't get they didn't get something at work or didn't get a promotion that they wanted. So they kept quiet about what was going on because like, well, I don't want to come back empty handed. Yeah, with the Queen of Pentacles, I'm not surprised. I don't want to come back empty handed. And there's like this situation where I feel like by having to wait for their finances to kind of come together, it ended up showing, this could have been, ended up showing someone or something's true colors. This could have been something where they had a loss in their job, they had a loss financially, and they had to wait to like commit to someone. I only say that because with the King and Queen of Pentacles, it's a true pair. They had to wait to like offer somebody a greater level of commitment. They were restricted. They didn't want to like talk about it till they had it in hand. They didn't want to offer it until it was already ready. And in that time, that person could have like, betrayed them. They could have had a falling out. What was this other card? Yeah, Six of Cups reversed. And there's a sense here where while that was difficult for your person, again, this also can indicate the loss of like a childhood friend, a childhood dream even. It's like while they were waiting for circumstances to align, while they were waiting for the opportunity to, speak their truth, to act on their truth, they kind of had this recognition and this realization that someone or something was not all it's cracked up to be, was not what they thought it was, or is just not really for them. And so this is what taught them ultimately that like it behooves them to let spirit take the wheel. So when you're connecting, when you were connecting to them, you're asking about that period of time, who were they really? I feel like they're in a very zen place, a very go with the flow kind of place, because they've learned through their challenging experiences that everything is kind of working out for them. The Devil reverse, this was a really big lesson for them, is to kind of learn to like let things shift and change for them. We have the image of snakes coming up twice. King of Wands at the bottom. This has been a very spiritually defining experience for this person. So I want to clarify Mystic. The World reversed. Yeah. The Magician reversed. Interesting. And the Six of Swords. I want to clarify. I want to put one more card. Death reversed. Interesting. 3 major arcanas and the Six of Swords. And we have the Two of Wands at the bottom. So, I think this is kind of going along with what we were talking about before. This was an old, with that Devil reverse, this was an old thing they had to heal, right? They may have had this experience from childhood, because the Six of Swords for me is an inner child healing card. Pardon my itchy nose. This experience from childhood of a fear of letting things end, a fear of, and I see that as well with the World, a fear of letting things transform, because they felt powerless in that situation, right? This could have been somebody who for the longest time, they felt like things were ending. They felt like they had to run after it or grab hold of it or control it, right? The second and eighth house, which is Taurus and Scorpio's house respectively, that axis talks about our relationship to, to change versus control. And all of that is a relationship to fear. So this person may have like really feared change for a really long time, or feared things ending and wanted to control it, to hold on to it, to understand why. Like it was really hard for them to let stuff go. It may have been hard for them to trust for a while. See, we have the skeleton here, we have the human hand, like where they had to always kind of get to the bottom of things. They're like, I need to know who you are. I need to know what this is, really like see through. And again, Scorpio, really like see intensely, through the layers, as a self-protective mechanism. And while that does behoove us sometimes, there is a need to surrender and go with the flow. And with the Six of Swords, cut our losses in order to find peace. And this person has learned to overcome that instinct. This person has learned to go with the flow. This person has also learned to be less blocked toward receiving. I'm noticing her arms are like open, right? Person has been, learned to be less blocked toward receiving. I want to clarify the Scorpio energy coming through. 10 of Pentacles reversed. This was a generational karmic pattern that needed to be broken. Knight of Wands, that may have caused this person to leap into things before. 5 of Wands, and then get themselves in trouble. Again, there's a fear with the Hierophant. There is a fear, there's a desire. It's interesting, we have Taurus and the Chariot right beneath that. There was a fear of letting things regenerate, right? Letting things go, because there's a fear of it's going to be over, and it's going to be over for good. Like I said, this was an inherited generational karmic pattern. This could have been letting go of, a job that's not serving you, because then it's like, well, then I won't, like, it's going to be gone for good, right? It's kind of that energy of, I'm not safe. I won't get anything better. So also could be, of letting go of, like I said, that need to know, that need to control. That's very much at the core here. And so there's a sense of like having to undo that, having to unlearn that. And because in the past, this like pattern has caused them to rush in toward things and then get themselves into like chaos, trouble, right? So this is like, let's say an example of this is, I'm afraid if I don't commit to this person right now, I'm going to lose my opportunity. And then they get into a relationship and they're kind of like, oh, I'd actually like this person's trouble. This is where they're kind of like creating unnecessary power struggle within themselves and interpersonally. This is what they've been working on overcoming. So there's a sense here where this person is very intense. This person can be very, passionate, very, something ensnares their senses, it like incites something in them. Their instinct is to want to hold on to it, to want to go after it, to catch it like a little firefly. But they've kind of recognized like, okay, I'm going to go with the flow. There's a lot of things to be excited about in this life. There's a lot of good things. I'm not going to let the fear of loss rob me of the joy of progress, right? Letting things grow over time. I'm going to trust that I don't have to jump on this right now in order to like this, what's meant for me is going to be there. It's kind of the energy. This person's done a lot of work in that area. This person's also done a lot of work in going with the flow interpersonally. Sometimes that Scorpio energy can really talk about like getting to the core of who somebody is and like seeing through them, like, seeing right through them. This person may have done a lot of work when it comes to, letting go of the need to know everything about somebody or the need to try to always get closer to them. They may have kind of like let things start to form a lot more organically, right? This would be the person that's very comfortable talking about your childhood traumas on like date 2. They may have kind of like started to let that unfold a little more naturally. They've learned to kind of grow in that way. Again, this person could have either 2nd or 8th house placements, Taurus or Scorpio placements. I want to see how this person, as I say, was feeling about you at the time frame that you're asking about. Like, what was their impression of you? What is this? The Hermit. Okay, so they could have seen you as somebody who likes to keep to themselves a lot. Queen of Wands, but also somebody who's very attractive, which is always an interesting combination, very spiritually based. Knight of Swords, okay. 3 of Pentacles, okay. The Wheel of Fortune reverse. And the 7 of Wands reverse. What I think is really interesting? This person's been working on going with the flow. At the time you were connecting, I think this was really interesting because I feel like my immediate kind of thing is you're not shy talking about partnerships. This includes what you want and expect out of a partnership, but this also includes partnerships that have not worked for you in the past, that have you're not shy to talk about your exes and what didn't work there. And like with the 7 of Wands reversed, what you're not like, if what hasn't worked for you and what you're happy to let go of, right? And it's so interesting because this person might normally try to like get really close to people and like in the past have like pushed for those details, and it may have felt inorganic or kind of artificial, but it's interesting because by them surrendering to that and letting things flow naturally, I think that's when they attract you, who's very comfortable talking about these things, right? There is a flow with the energy, and thus they attract somebody who is, not shy, sharing very authentically about, their experiences, both positive and negative, and even how their negative experiences have informed them of the positive experiences they want to have, right? I think that you guys have a lot of great conversations, and this is like, they see you as somebody who's just very honest, who's not afraid to share authentically. I want to know kind of like where they're at with you right now or what their intentions are now. The 3 of Wands reversed. Okay, I think they're trying to not count their chickens before they hatch. 8 of Cups. There's something where if you guys are kind of separated or doing your own thing, they're not really counting on anything for the future, but they also haven't let go of the idea. 2 of Swords reversed. I think they're waiting on you to make some type of decision. 5 of Wands. And the King of Wands. So this could be where there's, if you're like dating with this person or it's casual, they're waiting for you to pick them. I feel for a lot of you. So again, they're not holding on to this vision of the future. It may also have been where things kind of like one cycle ended with you guys and they've kind of like let go of that energy, but they're open to things rekindling and being new. But how they feel about you right now, they would be willing to fight for you. If you chose them, if you chose them, they would show you that that was a good decision. But it also feels like they're not pursuing you or they're not running after you. So they're open to having this conversation. If you make it very clear to them that you want to pursue something with them, I think they would like to. If you guys have already kind of had something and then disconnected or separated, they want to have a real conversation about how things would be different this time, because there were some kind of problems. There may have been some other people sort of in the mix, especially I'm feeling like on your end, like you may have had some exes or like people who really wanted your attention. You may have been very popular, again, with that Queen of Wands. And they kind of want to, like, they're not afraid to fight for you, but they want to know that you want it first, right? It's like, I'll fight for you and I'll fight for this relationship if it's going to go somewhere, but it's not going to go somewhere if you're not invested. So they want to know that you are invested. I want to play you guys a couple of message cards before I close out the reading. That is a photo at the bottom. Whoops. Okay. This one flipped out. You were always my shooting star. They feel like you're a little bit of magic. You're a little wish. You might not believe it, but I want you to know you did the right thing in our situation. So if you said something or you did something, you made a choice. They feel like you made the right choice. We have a lot of blue here, so there's a lot about authenticity and truth. Yeah, a lot of blue. Our journeys may have led us away from each other, but never doubt how much of an impact you made on mine. A lot of throat chakra energy here. Do you remember the time when our souls didn't know each other? Yeah, me neither. We'll meet again, I promise. They feel like, again, they're trying to be in the flow. They feel like you guys are going to, come back together here. I feel so lost without you. I don't know if that feeling ever goes away. I make cards of all different colors in this deck. Like you can see, you guys got a shitload of blue. And that was actually what we were talking about with your signifier card as well. There's a lot of honesty here. And this person is like, this person's trying to kind of go with the flow and trust that you guys will come back together at the right time, or if you both want to be in this, you'll be guided back together. So I think that's everything I've got for you guys. I hope that's been helpful. It's been a joy and a delight to have you here, and I hope I get to read for you again real soon. Take care. Bye.